Hi, everyone. Welcome to Stan&Chelle Show. Today, my friend Karen is going to explain to you the steps to becoming a paralegal. If it is your first time to our channel, we would like to welcome you. Don't forget to subscribe and like just to receive our notifications. Today, I want to welcome my absolutely favorite person on earth, Karen Joint. Welcome, girlfriend.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, girl?
I'm good. It's been a long time, but I'm glad that you're here.
Same here.
So you want to dig into this question? So you want some time to breathe? What's
I'm like,
that? Okay. Take a deep breath.
yes, yes.
All right, here it goes. How did you become interested in your field?
I became interested in my field after I worked as a chiropractic assistant, and I noticed before we would work with some attorneys, and not with them, but in, side by side with them. And when they would request records and things like that, I was always interested about what happens on the other side of what I was doing, because I only saw one end and I never really saw the end result of some of these cases or some of the patients that were coming in to the office. So I was always a little curious about what happens after they're done with their treatment.
Oh, cool, cool. I like that. Okay, so with that being said, what kind of education or training or background, does your job require?
So to be a paralegal, you do need some experience of some sort. So with with our field, it's either a paralegal or a legal assistant. Even though the names are different, but basically the work is the same. So with it, you would definitely need some sort of training, experience, or education. You can have a degree in legal studies. You can be a paralegal or a legal assistant through experience as well, which is great because they do honor people who have been in the field. So you could start with nothing and go really far in the field as well. And even then, once you're in the field, there's also continued education that you do. So you would work to be certified paralegal, you'd work to be registered as a paralegal. I'm registered with the Florida Bar, so I have my own little ID number and things like that. So I work with my boss, the attorney. So I work right under him. So we're able to move forward with files, and I help him make money. I make some money.
Nice. I hope you're making money too.
Yes, and I'm making my money.
Okay, good. So after all the training, I don't know if it's like a redundant question, but after all the training, how do you start your career? How did you start your career?
With me, I started through, actually, I took a chance, really. Like I said before, I was a chiropractic assistant and I was interested. And then one day I just threw my resume out there. I saw an ad. It was for an attorney who was starting up his own, he was leaving a firm and he was becoming his own, he was doing his own thing. So it was only him. It was the four of us in the office. And I took my chance. I sent my resume, and he took a chance with me too, because I had no experience in the field. So one thing that he did like about my resume was that I had the medical experience, or I worked in the medical field, so I knew some of the medical terms and terminology that would be used for my job. So that gave me a push. And that also gave me the chance to, jump into something that I was looking into for a long time. So I want to say I was lucky because he could have, the ad did ask for experience, but I went for it anyway because I just wanted to see what would happen, and everything worked out in my favor. So that's how I started in the field. Like I said, with everyone was brand new. It was new for him. It was new for me. There was another attorney. It was her first year after passing her bar exam. She was there. So it was a pretty fun experience starting up with them and actually being able to grow together with those small group of people.
Nice. I love that. And I'm sure your beautiful personality had a lot to do with it.
Just a little bit.
So, what are some common career paths in the field?
Oh, common career paths. Really, it's really just that. As a paralegal, you work in the legal field. You assist attorneys. You work through the court system. You work with clients that you may have. So it's a lot with the common fields. Since there's so many different branches, I would say, when it comes to the legal field. So you may be able to specialize in a field. I specialize in personal injury, but there's other fields like immigration, other fields like corporate law, there's entertainment law. So there's many different paths that can be taken when you're talking about the legal field and things that you can do as a paralegal.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. So, what's your main responsibility with your?
Ooh, my main responsibility is everything.
Wow, you should be getting all the money.
So, I mean, man, we do a lot. Paralegals do a lot of work. I think sometimes I don't think anyone underestimates the amount of work that paralegals do when it comes to starting a file from scratch and building it all the way to the end. It's a lot of work. I would say my main responsibilities are assisting first my boss, the attorney. That would be my first duty, and my next responsibility would be making sure I assist with the client, and then everything else comes afterwards. So I got to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, so the client is happy, that the client is satisfied. I'm providing them with the service that they need, the answers that they need as well. And if that requires me bridging between the attorney and the client to make sure that the information is correct as well, sometimes I got to outsource. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of reading. So I do read a lot. I gotta highlight and do all this stuff. So it's a lot when it comes to it at the end of the day, when it comes to the responsibilities itself. But like I said, I think the biggest part for me at least would be assisting both the attorney, assisting the client, and like I said, a lot of research into that file, asking questions that someone may not ask. When we look into the files, we always do our best to make sure that we're covering everything. So when we have opposing counsel or someone else that may come into the picture, that we've already gotten the question, or we already answered the answer, or we already answered the question per se, that they may come up without them, bringing it up. So there's a lot of play when it comes to our responsibilities as a paralegal.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Can you make any decisions?
I cannot make any final decisions in this. No way. The attorney, everything, I can't give advice, even if I know what it is. Legally, I cannot give advice. I would still have to go through the attorney. He knows more. Even if I know some, he knows more. He's got it all. But the decisions, I can make some office decisions, but when it comes to when it comes to the file itself, I can definitely give a suggestion as well. As I do know the files and the history and everything from what's going on, mostly, probably sometimes more than the attorney. Most paralegals, they know everything when they're working on a file. So, but when it comes to decision making, at the end of the day, it's between the attorney and it's between the client as well. Sometimes we have to make a decision, or the attorney's office will make a decision with a client, and it may not be what the office wants, but if it's what the client wants, then we would go for it. Because if it's their claim as well, if they see that that's something that they want to pursue, something that they want to move forward with, we would have to go with them. So decision making, nah, not really.
No.
I can definitely throw in a suggestion here or there of what I think on something.
Okay, well, at least you have a voice, so that's good.
Yes.
So what do you like the most and least about your job?
Oh, when I tell you it is a roller coaster, it's there. I would want to say there's typical days, but it's really up and down. Sometimes you'll get like a curveball thrown at you, and it's like, what? Where did that come from? I've been working on this for months. I had no idea this information would come up or show. So what I like the most, I like client interaction. I like dealing with our clients. I like the research as well. It's really interesting, some of the stuff that will come up and some of the things that you learn as well. It kind of pulls a little bit of every field, I would say, when you're talking about legal, because some stuff, like we said, if we're talking legal, we do, for me at least, when it comes to personal injury, we would work into clients' files medically. So there are things that we would have to know that would help or hurt. So I think those things are some of the best parts of my job, just like seeing new things daily. I think sometimes the worst of my days, or the worst part of my job, is maybe I really wanted a client to get a good settlement and they didn't. Sometimes I feel like, I'm like, oh man, I really wish they got that money. I mean, it's not my money, but I wanted them to get the money. But unfortunately, things don't always end up the way that we think that they will end up. So I think those are probably, the days where it's kind of like, man, I wish this client, I know you kind of can't do that, but every now and then, you get thrown a file or a case where you do feel like that person deserves some sort of compensation for what they went through, but sometimes it just doesn't turn out that way. So
Yeah.
I think those are probably one of those that when that happens, kind of like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yes.
I feel you, girl. I feel you. Can you recommend any books, like let's say somebody's interested, any books or magazines that someone can read to prepare?
Really, if you're interested in the field, right now, I mean, Google is everything. You can find everything off of Google. So I believe, like, if anyone's interested in the legal field, it's easy. Type it in, you look into it. I don't think, I know right now, since everything is digital, so there's definitely books that you can find. For me, it was just, I'm gonna look into this. Let me look on Google, let me look on Yahoo, let me see what other people say about it. And definitely YouTube now, because I'm pretty sure there are several paralegals who go about telling everyone about their typical days at work. So I think those two would probably be the best and the most, I don't want to say the most accurate, but the most real real places to get info on being a paralegal and what it's like.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, everything's on YouTube. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes.
And we had to come up with another way too. Like there's not enough.
Right. Oh, see, we're on.
So what advice would you give someone who's considering, becoming a paralegal?
Oh man. Someone who's considering becoming a paralegal, I would, the advice I would give them is to have a lot of patience. It's like I said, it's an up and down field, and sometimes when it comes down to it, you are going to work really hard and really long on some things. So I would definitely suggest to someone who's getting in the field, take your time. You're going to get it. I think some people believe like you just walk into something and immediately you're supposed to like, know it. But a lot of times it just takes time. It takes repetition. It takes practice. So that's the advice really that I would give to someone who's considering going into the legal field. Number one, you gotta have patience. Patience with yourself, patience with clients. Clients will be clients. So, I mean, when I mean they'll be clients, it's one day it could be, sunshine and lollipops, and the next day it is a storm. So you definitely have to be able to balance your clients as well, people, your boss. So you work directly with people. And sometimes I would say with this field, not only is it business, but it does kind of get personal when it comes to specific claims or cases where it might get into the person's personal lives. Like if you did family law, it does kind of get personal as well because you're dealing with moms, dads, husbands, wives. So it can get personal. So you definitely got to have, you got to be strong going through it because you will encounter people and things that might, break you down or might have you feeling some type of way. And sometimes you got to just put it to the side and be neutral and do your job through it.
Yeah. So you would say you need to be a people person to even consider being a paralegal.
I don't know if you have to be a people person, to be honest, because I feel, well, to a point you do have to be a people person when you're dealing with the client. But sometimes, like depending, like let's say you're doing most of the research, and I know some offices, depending on how they handle their cases and their claims, you might not ever have to deal with someone face to face. But I think overall, like the biggest thing I would say patience, because if you have no patience for this field, you don't even try. If you don't have no patience, don't come in,
Yeah.
because some things will come really fast and easy and other things will be long and drawn out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So if you could do it all over again from the beginning, would you change anything or do anything differently, which is the same thing? Yeah.
To be honest, I would probably get in this field earlier. I mean, I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I do. I know it sounds like maybe if I got in earlier, I would have done something more. Maybe I would have gone into law school. Maybe I would do, more. But I wish I knew that this is something that was interesting to me earlier on. But like for right now, I'm okay with it. It's been over 8 years. I'm happy. I love it. I like my job. I love my boss. I love I love the field. But so definitely for me, if the only thing I would do differently is go back, and if I knew a long time ago, years ago, I'm pretty sure I would probably be further along in my legal path.
Nice. All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from Karen herself. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment below and she'll reach out and answer them. That's awesome, Karen. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Thank
So
you.
good to see you.
I know we're so busy, but hey,
No.
we're making it happen. We're working, so we're thankful. We are blessed, and I'm so happy to see you, Michelle. And I'm so happy with this initiative that you guys are doing. I think it's an awesome opportunity just to get ourselves out there and also to get people interested in other fields as well. Who knows? Maybe someone will check out the video and end up coming into the paralegal field from something completely different. So
Nice.
I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for you guys. So I'm really happy about this.
We appreciate you, Karen.
Yes. All righty. Bye, guys.
Bye.